Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. Precipitation for the past 7 days is shown here with the observed amounts on the left and the percent of normal on the right. It's been a dry week across much of Utah and Nevada, but there was some precipitation that moved in across the far southern tier of Utah and the far southern tip of Nevada. And Idaho and Wyoming did see a little bit of precipitation in the last week as well. As far as snow goes, we just saw a little bit of snowfall as some of that precip moved through over Idaho and western Wyoming. Our current snowpack is definitely dwindling, especially over parts of Nevada and even a basin there in Utah and over the central Idaho mountains. So we'll see. We are expecting some warm temperatures going through the weekend, today and tomorrow especially, which will hasten the melting of the snow. This morning's satellite imagery shows a broad area of high pressure in place over the Great Basin, leading to very warm temperatures area-wide today. We do, however, have this low pressure system across the Pacific Northwest that will be moving in, bringing some cooler temperatures and some precipitation for Thursday into Friday. So for later this afternoon, still expecting very warm conditions across the entire geographic area, but by later this afternoon and into the overnight hours, we will begin to see some moisture and some cooler temperatures moving into the far north and west corners of the geographic area. Ventilation rates are high for today. Looking at our transport winds, expecting some higher wind speeds there in Nevada and up into western Idaho ahead of that next trough moving in from the Pacific Northwest. And mixing heights are very high across much of the area. That moisture will move throughout the day on Thursday. By Thursday evening, we may see a little bit of a break in some of that activity. Ventilation rates are high area-wide. So for the winds on Thursday afternoon, as that trough moves through, we'll see those winds pick up over western and southern Utah and even up into western Wyoming with continued high mixing heights, especially over Utah and Nevada. On Friday, a little bit of moisture will linger over western Wyoming and parts of northern Utah with continued high ventilation rates and drying and some warming moving back in from the west. So on Friday, some lingering gusty winds over southern and eastern Utah and western Wyoming associated with that trough as it moves off to the east, and continued high mixing heights, lighter winds over western Nevada and western Idaho. The forecasted clearing index for Utah is shown here. For this afternoon, looking for some favorable high values over western Utah with slightly lower values across the east. And for Thursday and Friday, we're looking at pretty high values across the state. The 3-day precipitation accumulations are shown here with some precipitation expected mainly over Idaho, Wyoming, and clipping northern Utah. That's going to be moving in mainly for Thursday and into Friday morning. By Saturday, we'll still see some lingering chance of showers, mainly over the central Idaho mountains and the very far north of Nevada. High ventilation rates region-wide. Sunday is going to be another warm day as we see a ridge move in for the day here with increasing southwest winds. Ventilation rates are generally favorable over Idaho and Utah, just a little bit lower over Nevada. Then by Monday, we'll see just a weak cool front move through the north. That will bring a decrease in temperatures from Sunday's very warm temperatures. So maybe back to somewhere near normal, highs in the 60s on Monday with high ventilation rates. More of the same is expected on Tuesday with mild temperatures and possibly some precipitation moving in once again to the far north. Ventilation rates remain high on Tuesday. The precip totals for days 4 and 5 here we're looking at Saturday through Monday. Still just looking for the precip mainly across the central Idaho mountains, western Wyoming, and the higher elevations of northern and northeast Utah. They're dry elsewhere across Utah and Nevada. The extended forecast from the Climate Prediction Center is calling for above normal temperatures for most of the geographic area and below normal chances for precipitation as we head into the first week of May. This concludes today's smoke dispersion briefing. Please check back on Friday for the latest updates.